Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do New X-Men, issue number 160 by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely from Marvel Comics. So we have this cover. All right, now you've seen it. So am I. So did I, and let's move on. So we begin here, and we see Beast here. He has also gone into some kind of a transformation, and this particular scene here immediately reminds me of William Shakespeare's quotes. Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. I always remember that. Why do I remember that? Because it was in the game Blood Omen, from back in the day. I believe it was from Crystal Dynamics on PlayStation 1 with, Kane, the vampire. It was so good. It was the first. Was it? It was not really Legacy of Kane, actually, was it? But it was the first Kane. All right, move on. I'm getting distracted. Anyway, Genosha is broken. It's dead. It's the Sentinels came in, destroyed everything, and Jean is well, Hank is Hank, always worrying. Always has his emotions on his sleeve. So, but then Jean discovers she feels something. There's something beneath the rubble. So she's using her mental telekinetic powers, and oh no, it's Emma Frost, and she has a girl called a mutant called Negasonic Teenage Warhead. You probably, for the people that don't read these comics, you probably remember her from Deadpool 2 movie, right? She was in there. And it seems that Emma Frost has, I don't know, activated her secondary power, but she doesn't know that she did that. She says, what happened, right? Meanwhile, the news is on, and Charles is in shock because the world's, half of the world's mutant population has been wiped out. Activists calling the bombing an act of species war. Even Magneto, mutant terrorist leader, was one of the victims. Of course, that's not true, but in this timeline, it probably was. So he's still in shock, right? And so Wolverine says, "Hey, Charlie, better check this out. It's like nothing we ever saw. Magneto is dead. I know, sir. We're mobilizing all trained mutants operatives into emergency and squads. What are we going to do with the creature who did this?" All right, so it's Cassandra here, this weird woman. You severed her vocal cords, Wolverine. Executive decision, Chuck. She was voice activating the Sentinels. She got her own personal healing gifts, and right now they're working hard to fix up the tissue damage, so we don't have much time to stand around flapping our gums. So Charles asks, hey, 16 million mutants are dead. Why did you do it? Well, before we get an answer, we go to, I don't know, the infirmary, I guess, on the medic bay. So, yeah. It's official. You're Emma Frost, the human diamond. Excuse me, organic what? Secondary mutation? Okay, so that's new. So we're getting introduced to these mutations in this comic. I wonder if there is going to be a third or a five. I always thought mutant was the best when they have just one power, one specific power. They can do only one thing and it makes them unique. But, doing, I don't know, we have secondary powers now. I don't know how I feel about that. It never said well with me. But, I don't know. Anyway, so she makes a joke, but, Hank says, hey, there's 60 million mutants dead. And he says, look, I'm trying to do a million things all at once, and I'm trying to look into this. Jean can move things around with her mind again. You've grown an exoskeleton of invulnerable organic jewelry. I, for my sins, have magically transformed into Tony the Tiger. So yeah, he's more like a beast. And she says, well, I do look rather spectacular in the lights, don't I? Well, Emma Frost is Emma Frost, and I like her. I like her as a villain, and I also think she is a good hero, right? I'm not a big fan of villains turning heroes. Mostly it never works. You know, look at modern comics with Norman Osborn. It just doesn't work, right? Um, but, with Emma, I can see why they turn her hero, and she has still that nastiness over her and her arrogance, right? But she is actually a cool character. And I'm coming to that a little bit later if I remember it. Anyway, so she says, I saw children cut into wafer thin slices. I watched the gifted 10-year-old pianist, search for his hands among the broken glass. That monster must die. So Jean comes in, she says, killing our enemies was Magneto's way. He's dead, Emma. You were here. Her philosophies died with him. Oh, come on, Jean. Humans made those sentinels to kill mutants. That thing in yourselves gave the order, right? And so she says, well, we need your help with that. But then, like I said, we all knew something like this would happen in the end. They're wiping us out. Enough. I called a taxi telepathically, Jean. I've become the perfect Fabergé killing machine for a reason. And that reason is surely not to wave the flag for ex-liberalism. What makes you such a bitch, Emma? Breeding, darling. Excellent breeding. I love it. I love her cockiness, her arrogance, her everything about her. She's a great character. Anyway, so Hank confirms that this woman, although she looks human on the outside, is something in the inside that isn't human. Basically, he suspects that she is the next step in the evolution. We have heard that spiel a little bit before, but it seems that, according to Hank, that evolution takes sometimes catastrophic jumps. Old life gets wiped out, and he thinks that Cassandra Nova is the first of a new unforeseen species, right? I think she instinctively uses her outlandish natural gifts to wipe us out if she can. All right. So Wolfie says, does she hunt people? If she needs to, maybe, but she doesn't really need to. And that's the scary part of the story. Humans are no threat to her because she instinctively knows what I've just discovered. Meaning what? Love the lighting, by the way. Meaning, I think I found a genetic trigger for extinction buried deep in the human genome. This E gene turns on when an entire species is off, to be turned off by Mother Nature. The human race is at its end. So his conclusion is that mutants or something after that is going to take over humanity pretty soon, right? And but then something happens to Hank, and Cassandra's waking up and she's using her, I don't know what kind of power she has, blowing the glass out of the mansion like, in a horror movie. And then she doesn't speak because her vocal cords are still not healed yet. And so Wolverine says, don't let us speak, Jeannie. I'm going around in her consciousness. It's like a migraine. There's just a big hole where she should be. So she says, hey, Charles, I need support. Her mind is a trap. Stay back, Jean. So he wants to shut down her motor functions, but then something happens, right? Just been thrown away. Even Scott uses his beams to do something, but I don't know. She's using her mind tricks on him, and she's getting. I believe her shadow is doing this, actually, if I'm seeing that correctly, like, doing this, on the backside because of this. And she's going all weird and funky. And I don't know, because Scott is still on the influence somehow, what's happening here. He wants to talk about their relationship. Hank comes in, he says, hey, you need to snap out of it. Take charge, the bad guy is killing Wolverine. So Wolverine, his flesh is getting, I don't know, dissolved while she's forming some kind of a armor around her, right? And then I don't know what he means with this. He says, Jean, come back to us. Think about the oxygen molecules getting faster around Cassandra. Make them go faster. And she says, and then I don't know, is the air exploding around her or something? I'm not sure what's really happening. And Logan is regenerating. And Cassandra is escaping or wants to escape. She decides to stop the car and goes back. So Wolverine comes in. I really like this really quick shot here that he is nailing her on the wall. I know you're just some fucked up thing that wants to survive. Wrong place, wrong time. And she just, I don't know, it becomes intangible. And she's going into, I don't know, Cerebra. The room where Cerebra, where her power will be amplified. And then they try to stop her, right? And she says, "Dear Charles, from here I can reach out, take hold of every remaining mutant mind on Earth and extinguish it. But I only want one." And something unnatural comes out of her head. But then, oh, it's Emma Frost, and she's broken her neck. And then the threat is over. Which makes me wonder which mutant was she talking about, right? Was it maybe Charles? Not sure. Sorry. So Wolverine says, "You okay with this?" And he says she had to be neutralized, Logan. Which was a really weird sentence because the biggest killer in this room is Wolverine. So it's a little bit weird that he says that instead of, I don't know, one of the others. Because he's a killer himself, let's be real, right? And she says, "Sweet as you are, I didn't come back for you, Scott. I came for my handbag." So she is healing, and then Charles just shoots you a couple of times. It killed 16 million mutants. It would have killed all of us. May posterity forgive me. Yeah. So we see also the newer, different, darker side from Charles, right? So Emma says, "May our dry cleaners forgive you, dear Charles. May God award you a medal for your uninhibited marksmanship." Hardcore Chuck. So yeah, because of the art of blue blood spatters on them. And I had to put a stop into it, Logan. I won't allow any more mutants to die. Things must change now. To me, my X-Men. And I have that X-Men cartoon in my head, like... But it's not really over, so he's on some kind of a talk show talking about what's happening. Scott doesn't understand that, why he goes onto the talk shows. It feels off and bad. But then Jean wants to talk about their relationship, because their relationship is in shambles. They barely touched each other, and she feels some kind of a cold, distant side of him, right? But then he talks about then when Apocalypse was in his, head, he did something to him, right? Stripping away about illusions, about life and about self. And then Jean comforts him that it's going to be all right. But then she says, "Scott, what is he doing?" With that in mind, I feel that it's finally time to put an end to masks and then the hiding our gifts behind secret identities and ill-fitted clothing. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Charles Xavier, also known as Professor X, and I am a mutant. So he's coming out of the closet, I guess. I don't know. And that ends this Extinction saga, if you can call it that. Does it? Here it is. E for Extinction. It goes on for a little while in other comics. Maybe I'm going to take a look at that too and review it a little bit further. But for now, a lot of things are going on. We are getting introduced. I'm getting introduced to Cassandra Nova, who is coming back in future issues. Secondary mutations, funky costumes. It's all fun and dandy. I liked it. It's not spectacular or great or fantastic, but I enjoyed it, and that's what comics is all about. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We're going to do a video tomorrow, a new one. See you next time. Bye-bye.